the good of all crew.
For the good of all crew.
What is up, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Good to
Welcome
be
in.
back. It is that time of week. It's my favorite day of the week. We are back for the Disney movie review of The Jungle Book. Now, dude, I'm excited for this week's show. It's so great to have you back. We're going to have a lovely show today. Thank you, everybody, for being here on this lovely Wednesday evening. So many lovely people in the chats, and we're going to get to you guys in just a second. But welcome back, Walt. Another week, 2 weeks in a row.
Is it? I thought it was 3.
3 weeks? 3 weeks in a row, because we did Narnia.
We did Narnia, and then
Narnia.
we did 101 Dalmatians, and now Jungle Book. Look at that, guys. This is now literally a streak. It takes 3 to be a streak. We're now literally streaky.
We are very streaky. And speaking of streaky, we've got today's sponsor.
Ah, yes.
And today's... did you see the segue into that? See that? Today's sponsor, we are today sponsored by Baloo's Boxer Briefs. Well, take it away with Baloo's Boxer Briefs.
Absolutely. This week's sponsor is Baloo's Boxer Briefs. Want a comfortable feel for those bare necessities? Then be sure to check out Baloo's Boxer Briefs. They come in all shapes and sizes, including Mowgli Medium, King Louie Large, just to name a few. And be sure to use the discount code PRICKLYPEAR to get 20% off your second pair of boxers. Order online today at www.mancubcreations.com or visit your local safari shop.
This is worked out so well. Oh my god, that couldn't have worked. Well, there we go. We'll bring in that. We'll make sure we let you know of our sponsor throughout the show. But so good to see everybody here. I hope you guys enjoyed our little sponsor. And by the way, it's a little inside joke that we just started last week. And it's going to be good fun sharing that over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, we need people to watch our sponsors, to watch our show. And we've got some amazing people in the chat tonight. Let's start off with our buddy Chris from Dad Builds. What is up, Chris? Good to see you. Welcome in. Great channel. Go check him out. We've got Stacey Bailey. Welcome in, Stacey Bailey. Welcome in, Gene. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. We've got Douglas Bailey. Good to see you. Douglas and Stacey Bailey, you guys together? I don't know.
They are.
There we go. Brilliant. Well, welcome in. There's my friend Kelly, the Mickey Bunch. So good to see you, Kelly. Thank you so much for being here. She's ninja watching at work. I'm very much used to the ninja watching, so I feel you. Samantha, welcome in. Samantha Lowe, good to see you. Kelsey Elizabeth, welcome in.
Oh, Kelsey's here. Hi, Kels. Hey. And Al, too. Good.
And then we got Al V, welcome in. We got Chris from Addy Family Adventures. What's up, Chris? Nice. Good to see you, buddy. We've got CNR Bloomers. Welcome in, CNR Bloomers. Good to see you guys. And we got Harry Lover. Welcome in. Good to see everybody. Well, welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the Disney movie review, The Jungle Book. And just to be clear, we're only looking at the 1967 movie. There obviously was a remake that came out in 2016, I believe.
Something like that.
It was 2016, which I really loved. I really loved the 2016 movie. But we're not talking about that film. We're talking about the original, the iconic 1967. John Surfbum, what is up? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, John.
And Strasbourg Rail Fanner 89, welcome in. He just says hi to you, Walt. I'm sure he'll say hi to me in a minute. It's fine. He's getting to his next destination. So yeah, we're talking about the original Jungle Book this week. We are very excited to talk about this iconic film, and actually, it's kind of a film that is set during the Disney time period, which was a bit unexpected, a bit sad. This film was released in 1967. And it was the last film that Walt Disney ever worked on. As we know, Walt Disney died in 1966. And obviously, this film had a lot of stuff obviously could have changed and been a little bit different if Walt had stayed alive. But this was the finished product that we got after Walt's passing. And then if you watch the Imagineering story, which I really, really love, you can tell that the vibe around the Disney company was very different, a lot more solemn after Walt's passing. So obviously stuff like the film part of the company and the Imagineering part of the company, everything takes a hit. So obviously this film does take a hit from that key event in Disney history. Debbie Bernfeld, welcome into the stream, and Dennis Algazi, hello Dan and Ward, and all the Ohana here. I'll be listening in the podcast mode from the Featherball, not reading chat. By the way, the original Who Woke Snow White Up by Baha Men is on here. Wow, did not know that. Right.
Well, let me say this real fast. This is another one. Actually, Dan and I were talking about this. This movie is only an hour and 18 minutes long, and that's including credits, pre and post credits. It's an hour and 18, so it's a short movie. It's not, the 3 hours, 2 hour movies we get today. And I think again, it's where it needs to be for running time. Doesn't need to be more, for sure.
Absolutely. It's definitely similar to a lot of the other films that we have covered over the last 2 years. We do the show where the main character, the protagonist, goes from A to B to C to D to E to F, and it gets to that final destination. So there's a sort of causality about it, and it just moves swiftly on throughout.
I agree.
There you go. Taking a drink of agua. Now, this film was set in India. Now, obviously, it doesn't give you a sort of time when in India, what time period in India, but we're just assuming that men had already established sort of civilization culture. They already started having sort of tribes. And actually, in this film, we only see 2 actual humans in this movie. We obviously our main character Mowgli, and then we obviously see the young girl right at the end of the movie, and that's it. All the other characters are animal creatures, similar to last week where we follow mainly animals, 101 Dalmatians. We follow the story of Bagheera. We obviously meet Baloo, we meet King Louie, we meet Shere Khan, we meet Kaa, we meet all these different animals, and we go on this journey with the man cub, which again is a play on words, like last week with when Pongo calls Roger a pet. Like it's very. I love the terminology they use.
Yeah. Al says, did Disney use cartoons in the movies to accompany the short movies? I can't remember. I don't know if they did or not, Al. I'm not sure.
No, I don't know either. Shere Khan has to be one of the most frightening Disney villains. Well, we'll definitely get onto that because he's a very interesting character for sure. What a cute girl she flirts with Mowgli. That's a big decision-making opportunity for Mowgli at the end of the movie. We're not there yet. We've got the whole movie to get through. So it's set in India. And I've got to say, the start of this movie actually really hits home for me. And I'll tell you why. If you guys didn't know, my sort of career, my job as a teacher, I teach things about the ancient world, things that happened thousands and thousands of years ago. And this story of Mowgli being sort of retrieved from a riverbed and taken to a pack of wolves and a she-wolf to be looked after is the same story that we get from the story of Romulus and Remus, who ended up finding the city of Rome. And I obviously make this connection all the time when I talk to my students, and I love this sort of fact that the Jungle Book, whoever wrote the Jungle Book, takes maybe I don't know if it was intentional, takes that homage from the Romulus and Remus story where they both grow up in a pack of wolves, a she-wolf as their mother. So I love this sort of start of a story. It's a very obviously biblical start, I feel, as well. Again, you've got a child that's been sent down the riverbed. Lots of biblical characters in history have had that same story. So it's a very familiar start to the story in terms of history.
Well, let's do our first movie reference. You know, another one, Tarzan. It's a shipwreck and his family dies, but he's basically raised by gorillas or apes. So
how many theories can we predict that actually Tarzan was in fact Mowgli from an alternate reality?
Maybe. I guess. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess it's possible.
Tarzan's just a very.
India isn't really near an ocean. Is it a main ocean? Like that's where he could shipwreck? Because Tarzan's based on a shipwreck. I don't know. Again, I'm not good with geography. Somebody help me out in the chat. I don't know if India is close enough to a main ocean or a huge body.
It's got the seas. it's got the seas, which is the it's I don't know where, I don't know which seas they are, but they are. It's definitely on a coast. But I don't know. It's just a conspiracy theory. Indian Sea. That's it. The Indian Sea. There we go. Kelsey Elizabeth. Indian Sea.
There you go.
There we go.
I guess it could have been. Yeah, the Indian Sea, the Arabian Sea, the Gulf of Mannar. I'm looking at a map. So, but I don't. I guess. Or the Indian Ocean. Yeah, I guess it could have. I guess it could have been. It could have been.
Could have been. This is where we bring in our Loki reference that Tarzan is just a variant of of Mowgli.
Don't get me started on the multiverse. Anyway, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. So Bagheera, who is our panther, who is pretty much our proper protagonist, really. He's the main focus of the story. He's really the character we follow the most.
He's Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah,
he's the conscience in the
absolutely,
film.
Absolutely, and he's the one who finds Mowgli and takes Mowgli out, takes the basket, and thinks, "Hey, Sai. He thinks, okay, I can't look after this child. I need to give it to a family of some sort." So Bagheera gives Mowgli as a baby to a pack of wolves. Now, if this was real life, not gonna lie, it probably wouldn't have ended well. But obviously, this is a Disney animated movie, and so you get them look after Mowgli throughout its infancy into childhood. Hey, Mandy.
All right.
Do you want to continue that?
Yeah, well, I like this part because ultimately the wolves, both the mom and the dad, they already had 4 or 5 cubs. They do. They take him in, and they raise him and they love him, and and that's fantastic. And as he's growing up, he's probably about 9 or 10, maybe a little bit older than that, 10 to 11, when he becomes the main part of the story. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. All of the wolves in the pack have to meet with all the leaders of the pack. And they decide that Shere Khan has now come back to this part of the jungle, and Shere Khan hates man. He wants to destroy man as best he can. And he is on the lookout for the man cub Mowgli. And so the wolf pack has decided that they can no longer, they can't protect him anymore, that he has to leave. And of course, the dad wolf says, look, he's like my own son to me. He's been with me for forever. But they're like, I'm sorry, we just can't risk it. And so be it. Bagheera is there. He hears all this. And Bagheera says, you know what? I'll take him, and I will take him to his own. There is a man village. It's a little ways away. It's a ways away. It's going to take us a little bit to get there. I will take him to where he needs to be to get away from Shere Khan. And that's kind of our beginning of the journey. He doesn't realize he's leaving the wolf pack until they're a little ways into the journey, and Bagheera says, we won't be going home today. Because he even says, isn't it time we should be heading home? And he says, we won't be heading home. And Bagheera tries to explain to him, look, we're going to take you where you need to be. You need to be with your man, with man cubs, with an man village. And he doesn't want to go.
No.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He's like, no, I'm with my family. I'm with you guys. I want to be in the jungle. I want to be with you, with you guys. And Bagheera is like, no, you have to go. And go. Kind of have at it. They kind of argue, and Mowgli storms off. And
Sai says, fun fact: the word "sher" actually translated to lion and tiger in Hindi.
There you go.
There we go.
So Tiger Khan, I guess.
Tiger
Khan. That makes sense.
Tiger King. That's a different show. Yeah, no one wants to talk about the Tiger King. So they go off. Bagheera and Mowgli, they go off. And they go on this, they kind of don't get along. They kind of just sort of arguing, like Walt just said, they just, they're bumping heads. They're not really like, Mowgli, I want to stay in the jungle. Bagheera's like, no, you need to go because Shere Khan's going to kill you if you stay with the wolf pack. So their first night, They climb up a tree. Obviously, Mowgli doesn't have any claws, so he's like struggling to get up a tree and stepping on Bagheera's head and getting up into a branch. And they're all sort of chilling out. Bagheera's like, "Oh yeah, wake you up in the morning, blah blah blah," and just whatever. And we get introduced to our first, well, our minor villain of the movie, and that is Kaa. Kaa is a rattlesnake or
I say he's a python
python or something like that.
He's huge.
Yeah. He's a big snake.
Very big.
And this snake happens to know the mutant ability of hypnosis. It's true. He can like
I don't really understand the point behind why. I've never heard of another snake that has hypnosis over any animal. Period. But I guess this one. Okay.
No. Or it's the force, because I don't know. It could be whatever it is. And he's like, "Trust in me, dude." That iconic song, "Trust in Me," where Bagheera is like having a little snooze. He's sort of relaxed. He's done with talking to Mowgli, and Mowgli is being strangled and hypnotized by Kaa. And it's kind of like, you see, it's kind of weird. You see Mowgli start to smile like in a daze, kind of thing, and Kaa's about to eat Mowgli, and Bagheera wakes up and stops Kaa and prevents Kaa from eating our main character.
That's good, because then it really would have been a short movie if he had actually eaten him. So kind of good he didn't.
What I did notice a lot actually about this movie was the use of sound effects. So when Kaa fell to the floor and he was like tied in a knot and he starts to sort of walk off, he sounded like one of those instruments that what do you call it?
Called a harmonic? No,
harmonica is the little like.
That's the thing up here. What's this thing called? It goes
euphonium. Is it euphonium? I don't know. And I just like, I don't know if that's meant to be for comedy effect or
I think it was
accordion. Laziness.
It's an accordion.
An accordion. That's it.
Yes. Thanks, Al.
Didn't really. I don't know. Didn't really like the random uses of sound effects, but I guess harmonious. Nothing can sound worse than harmonious. Although I haven't seen it yet. So we meet Kaa. Obviously, Kaa will return later on in the movie.
We think.
Hopefully, we would.
Nah, he will. I'm just kidding. I just didn't want to spoil it. I'm sure not. I'm sure mostly everybody here has never seen this movie.
Exactly. But I think with this film, like every sort of 10, 15 minutes, you meet a new animal or a new species and you get introduced to their sort of lives in the jungle. And sometimes I feel like it doesn't work. This is just me personally. The whole thing with the elephants, I think it was just used to fill time in the movie.
Oh, it absolutely is. But it's funny you said that, because that song is actually one of my favorite songs.
The Colonel hath
2, 3, 4. Pick 'em up. 2, 3, 4. I like that song, actually. I think that one's fun.
It's catchy.
It's catchy. And they actually, when they were doing Kite Tales, they would play that little Walt Disney World reference. They did play it in the Kite Tales show. Did
not know that. Yep. So Bagheera goes off, kind of leaves Mowgli to Mowgli. Falls in line to this colonel's brigade of elephants. It's like a march, and they're marching through the not really desert, through the jungle.
Yeah, it's a jungle for sure.
And Mowgli's just hanging out with the kid, and the colonel is a bit delusional, and he's kind of like he's like the colonel of an army. So he's like, right, you need to get in line, you need to have your trunks straight and tusks clean, and
he tells them company inspection, and don't fall out of ranks, company halt, left face, all that stuff. Same thing you would get from a military thing for sure.
Yeah. And then he kind of says, I will not have any man cubs in my brigade or whatever it was, and then they go, and then Bagheera takes Mowgli and they go, and it was kind of just like, it was a bit of a filler. It was entertaining enough.
fun for kids, for young
Yeah.
kids. You're gonna love that part. But again, the whole time, remember, Mowgli is still not hearing it from Bagheera. He wants to stay in the jungle, and Bagheera is slowly but surely making their way towards the man village.
Yeah.
And this is where it kind of push comes to shove. Bagheera kind of gets fed up, and he's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And
Mandy Adams says,
go ahead. Never like snakes.
She goes, I never liked snakes. Snakes. Why does it have to be snakes? There you go. There's the indie reference.
Hey,
I love.
It could be snakes on a plane. So
could be snakes on a plane with Samuel Jackson. We've got a lot of references today. I love the elephant segment, especially the different elephants like the slob who's got grass hanging out his trunk. Yeah, he's funny. Sorry, folks, I have to pop in and say hi, but it's bedtime. But a very big Winnie hug for each of you. All good rest of the stream. I rate it a B because of characters, songs, and fun. Well, thank you, Si. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, and we'll catch you soon.
Good night, Si.
Good night, Si.
Go ahead. You want to take it from here?
Oh no, you go. Go for it.
Well, I was just going to say, as Bagheera kind of leaves him, this is where we start to meet probably the main protagonist in this, other than Mowgli himself, and that's where we finally get to meet Baloo.
And this is where we bring in our sponsor.
Yes, our sponsor, for those that are just coming in, this week's sponsor is Baloo's Boxer Briefs. You want a comfortable feel for those bare necessities? Then be sure to check out Baloo's Boxer Briefs. They come in all shapes and sizes, including Mowgli Medium, King Louie Large, just to name a few. Be sure to use the discount code PricklyPear to get 20% off your second pack of boxers. Order online today at www.mancubcreations.com or visit your local safari shop.
There we go. Oh, I'm not going to do that every time we bring up Baloo, but I just thought we bring in Baloo for the first time in our review, and then we'll throw in the sponsor. So yeah, we meet he's almost like your sidekick to Mowgli. This is when you get introduced to Baloo. And Baloo, he's coming across as maybe a bit arrogant, saying like, look, you need to be a bear. Like, you need to have that roar, that growl, that sort of anger. But really, he's just a playful guy. He's a playful bear. And he has jokes that are unbearable.
Yes.
Get it? Bearable.
But he barely holds it together throughout the entire movie.
Until we get to the bear end.
Yes.
And
then we all have to grin and bear it. Sorry.
How many country bear references can we make?
Oh my God.
Don't let him come to the attraction like in the Tiki Room with Iago and Zazu under new management. We're not going to do that, but with Baloo and the country bears. Anyway, we get.
And Al's right. He is a lazy bear for sure.
Yes, for sure. He is a lazy bear, but as we do say on our Disney movie review show, this is where we get that Disney promotion scene that you see in every Disney promotional video on Disney Plus or on TV or on YouTube or whatever it is. Whenever they post a video about Disney and like, hey, look, they're Disney, you often see Mowgli dancing with Baloo to the bare necessities. Like, you see that all the time. It's a classic scene. It's a scene we see a lot throughout history. They love. This scene is iconic. The whole Bare Necessities song is one of the best songs Disney has ever written. Bearing in mind the music was done by Richard and Robert Sherman, who has done pretty much so much music throughout Disney history. Mary Poppins, It's a Small World,
Carousel
Progress. The list goes on and on and on. And look, the Bare Necessities is one of those songs that even today people still know. It's a fantastic song. It's a brilliant song, and this is where he's telling Mowgli, just chill, relax, enjoy life in the bear way. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See that bee over there? If you're like him, you're working too hard.
Oh, it's just those iconic. And Mowgli, Bagheera obviously hears the shouting, the roaring from a bear, and he goes over and he's like, oh, it's just Baloo.
Yeah, he knows. I didn't realize they had bears in India, but maybe they did.
Al says, so guys, at this point, how do you think the tempo is going so far up to this point? Too slow or just right? We will definitely get onto the pacing of this film during our sort of summary. But up to this point, for me, it's slow. I think bringing in Baloo is a breath of fresh air, having that comedic aspect. I think if you compare it to last week's, which is 101 Dalmatians, the time when you bring in that comedy effect was with Jasper and Horace. And that was quite earlier on in the movie, whereas this, you're looking about halfway through. So
Yeah, I think it's slow to this point too until Baloo gets in there. I'm with you 100%. And it's funny, I think Dan makes a good point when you talk about introducing new characters every 15 to 20 minutes in this film. I think you're right, because we're about another 20 minutes in when we're about to meet our next semi-antagonist. He's not the main. Well, it's funny. We talk about Shere Khan as always being the main antagonist in this film, and he's probably got all of 5 minutes in the film, technically.
All the villains really have about 5 minutes. All the villains.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for the most part, I mean, one of them, which I think we're about to talk about, has probably the most time.
Yeah.
Even gets their own song, but it isn't really, when you watch it now and you look at it as an objective point of view as a critic, someone who's watching it for that reason. It's funny some of the things you notice when it comes to characters. King Louie is such a huge character in the parks. He's in the parties. He has meet and greets and stuff like that. But I don't know how important he really is to this movie. He's another obstacle, I guess.
He's a very popular character for a very minor role. Like, I think people, when you see him in the parks, I think people forget he's actually a villain. Like,
right.
You always see him partnered up with Baloo when you go for a meet and greet. So when we get to this point, Baloo and Mowgli go off. Bagheera just says, I've had enough. If you can't stick with me, you go with this bear, this goofy bear. And they're sort of doing the bare necessities down the river. And Mowgli gets swooped up by a load of monkeys. And we end up in this temple, this abandoned temple. And we find out the king of the jungle is King Louie. And I think this, again, talk about two songs back to back, which are very iconic. I Want to Be Like You, personally, is my favorite song from the movie. Bare Necessity is a classic, don't get me wrong, but I love I Want to Be Like You. I think it's... Hey, everyone, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I Want to Be Like You is just a really feel-good movie, a feel-good song. It's really upbeat. It really involves sort of more of the animal world, the jungle world that we notice with these monkeys. And I think it's fantastic. And we kind of get a little bit of characterization of King Louie. What does he want? He makes an agreement with Mowgli, and Mowgli doesn't really know what King Louie wants. And King Louie wants what, is the most powerful thing at that time, which is the element of fire. He wants Mowgli to teach King Louie how to make fire. But obviously Mowgli's a child, and not even that, he's a child that didn't grow up in the man village, so how does he know what fire is? So,
and part of it is because King Louie thinks fire means he's a man.
Yeah,
that's basically what he wants to be like you. He wants fire, but he thinks fire makes him a man. Because to be honest with you, primates are about the closest thing we have to humans as it is. They're not that far off. I mean, they're really not, and so it makes sense why he would want that, and why he would feel that's something that's going to put him over the top to be human. Because if humans can make fire and he can make fire, I'm going to be like you.
Yeah. So while Mowgli is being entertained by King Louie, Baloo rushes back to find Bagheera and says, "Listen, we need to go and rescue Mowgli from King Louie." And Baloo, they end up going to the temple. Baloo is kind of getting into the vibe. And I just love that scene where Baloo just slams the door open and he's got a coconut for a mouth and a hula skirt. And he's like pretending to be an ape, a female ape. He was pretty much dressed in drag. And this is kind of like, I don't know, Timon, but 1.0, Timon from The Lion King, where he, dressed me up in a skirt, do the hula. I think it's great. I think it's a really, really fun scene. And they do this sort of Scooby-Doo kind of escape where they go back and forth, and they end up escaping with the temple being crushed on King Louis after Baloo tickles him.
Yeah, they get away. They do get away.
So, but it's a real fun scene. Hey, Cynthia Candyman, what's up? I'm here. Start over. Don't get. Thing is, I feel like if we start again, Candyman will just be in hysterics from today's sponsor. So I'm just going to just let us be in suspense.
I'm sure we're not done with our sponsor. We'll
get to our sponsor at the end. And the wonderful Kay Atwood. So good to see you, Kay. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome in. You're welcome in. Good to have everybody here.
Yeah, great to see everybody here. Thank you so much. So they escape, and now I can't remember if it's they meet Car again. I think Mowgli goes off, meets Car again, gets caught up. And this is where we first get introduced to really our main villain. With only about maybe 15 minutes left of the movie, we finally meet Shere Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Shere Khan, obviously a tiger. He just wants to kill men. That's all he wants to do. He hates, the men of the world. He hates man, and all he wants to do is rip them to shreds. And he's been tracking down Mowgli. Now, at the time, Mowgli has been hypnotized by Car, and is now caught up in the middle of Car's extremely long body. One thing again with the sound effects, when Shere Khan pulls on Car's tail like a doorbell, like ding ding. And I'm just like, really? Do you need that in this movie? Really?
Yeah, for kids you do.
Do you? And obviously, Car is trying to almost protect Mowgli. Hey, listen, like this, I've got the child. Like this is me. Shere Khan, you got to go. You got to leave.
Well, he actually doesn't tell him he's got him, because what he does is he's like, Shere Khan says, get down here. Let me see your end, and then he like slithers down just the end. And then he says, let me see your middle. And he slithers down just the middle. But he's really not. He's being manipulative and trying to get one over on Shere Khan. And in the process of doing that, I think, if I remember correctly, that's when Mowgli wakes up and kind of gets away.
Yeah.
And Shere Khan's not very happy with Ka, but ultimately he leaves because Shere Khan has not yet found Mowgli at this point. But he's getting a lot closer, obviously.
A lot closer. And the reason how Mowgli ends up with Car is because they had a big falling out with Baloo, because Baloo was convinced by Bagheera that we need to take him to the Man Village.
Right, exactly.
So obviously now Mowgli escaped Car. He's alone. He meets characters who I completely forgot were in this movie. They meet the vultures. Now,
well, he meets back. Ultimately, if
you meet the vultures, right? If you look back at Disney history, Disney animated history, normally vultures are not the most friendliest of characters. And they have this little song called We Are Friends. Now, I didn't know this, right? When they start singing it, they're like an a cappella group. They're like the Dapper Dans, but they're the Dapper Vultures. And they go, we are friends, we are friends, we are friends, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know this. At the end of the song, Shere Khan shows up. And he goes,
friends are for.
And if you didn't know where that was from, that was from the Happily Ever After show from Magic Kingdom, where the castle does that little mouth bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
you didn't know that? I knew that.
I was just like, I did not know that.
Yeah, I knew that. It's funny because when I look at the vultures, to me, I see the Beatles. Yeah, that's my correlation. They remind me of the Beatles. Me too, Al. That's who they reminded me.
I didn't get that.
I felt the Beatles. It's 1967, which is the height of the Beatles, by the way. They're popular at this point. That's how I took it. I took it as it's the Beatles. It's the Fab Four.
I didn't even see it that way.
Oh, I do, because the one that's got his hair all the way down over his eyes, I took that as Ringo.
Yeah.
That's Ringo to me.
I mean, looking at it now, like it does.
Yeah,
Look like,
that's how I saw it, and the song itself, I love. It's funny you talked about how King Louis is your favorite. This is the one that's my favorite. I love the Bare Necessities, but I really enjoy this one the most. And when
really.
you're outside looking in, who's there to open the door? I love that song. That's my favorite.
Al goes, come on, Dan. I'm like, dude, I was like born in the 90s. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was born in 1970, so the Beatles were. By the time I became anybody that would even remotely understand music, the Beatles were pretty much over.
Yeah,
they were after my time. But
who broke up at Disney? By the way,
in the
Polynesian, crazy in the Polynesian, and they signed the contract in the Contemporary, I believe.
No, it was in the Poly.
Oh, was it in the Poly?
It was in the Poly when they signed the contract. The Contemporary is known for Richard Nixon's.
That's it. That's it. Anywho, back to Jungle Book
or Resignation or something.
So Shere Khan does a little sort of, playground sort of game where he says, "I'm going to count to 10, and then I'm going to eat you." I mean, it was less scary than that, but
right, because he found him at this point, and Mowgli's all alone. Only one there are the vultures, and Shere Khan has found him at this point. I don't know. Did you say that? Did I miss that? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think I did. Oh, Candy Mom. She goes, remember for 28 months.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. That's so kind. Thank you so much. Disney, the happiest place on earth for all your history moments. Absolutely. So, Mowgli runs. Well, he says, like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to run. But he does end up sort of coming a little bit scared because you've got a tiger coming at you, and out of nowhere, Baloo manages to catch the tail of Shere Khan, and
just trying to basically hold him off for Mowgli to get away. That's why, and the whole time he's like, "Run, Mowgli, run!"
And then you get, let's be honest, a bit of a one-sided fight between Baloo and Shere Khan.
Oh yeah, Shere Khan.
Shere Khan just shredded
Baloo. Literally.
It was a lot darker than I remembered. And then obviously the weather changes because in every Disney movie when there's a fight, obviously it's raining with thunder. And then a branch catches fire, and the vultures tell Mowgli, "Hey, listen, Shere Khan's afraid of fire." So Mowgli actually straps a branch which was on fire to Shere Khan, and Shere Khan gets really, really scared of this fiery branch and runs away, essentially.
Yeah, he attaches it to his tail, which is smart. I mean, that's the way to do it. And then he runs because the fire's chasing him because it's attached to his tail, and that's kind of the last we see of Shere Khan.
He had a tiger by the tail. Okay, no one remembers that song. He had a tiger by the tail. Do you know that song? He had a tiger by the tail?
No.
Sorry, Kay. Dan is my foodie bestie. He is the best. You're my foodie bestie too. By the way, just posted on Instagram a food thingy. Go check it out. Follow me on Instagram. There's a little plug.
A food thingy. If that doesn't make you want to jump right over there, I don't know what will. A food thingy.
Hey, if you like food, go check out the post I just put on Instagram. There you go.
That's better.
Now, Mowgli, Bagheera, and the vultures go over to Baloo. They see they think Baloo's dead. But we know Baloo's not dead. Why would they end this movie on such a sad note? And so they Bagheera and Mowgli, well, really Bagheera is saying all these wonderful things about Baloo, which is
like a eulogy almost.
Yes, it was like a eulogy, but Baloo's not dead. He's listening to the whole thing and he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. And Bagheera kind of stops, and then Baloo's like, "Keep going, you're doing really great." They're like, "Keep going, you're doing so good." And they were like, "Oh, Baloo, you're alive, blah, blah, blah. We thought you were dead," all that kind of stuff. And they make their way towards the man village.
Well, kind of, but on the way, at this point, I think Baloo is kind of now resigned to the fact that nope, I want Mowgli to stay with me. And they're tracing through the jungle for sure, but this is when an unexpected part comes up. He hears something, and what he hears is her singing. Remember, because she's kind of humming a song,
Yep.
and I like that part. Hi, Shuri.
Hey, Sherry, welcome in. So good to see you. So they hear this sort of lovely melody, this lovely tune, and it comes from this girl who's getting some water from the river, talking about her mother and her father and all that kind of stuff. And let's just say, look, Mowgli was, love at first sight with this girl.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Carlos? So good to see you. Would I shock anyone if I typed never seen it? Carlos, dude, love you, brother.
Carlos, if you
come on,
that one would be kind of shocking. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, I've seen all the Disney classics. I may not like all of them, but I've seen them. I mean, that one would surprise me if you typed never seen it.
Can we just do a watch party where we all watch the movie again, but it's Carlos's first time and get his reaction? It could be called "My Friend Watches Blank for the First Time." It'll be great. It'll be a great series.
Tons of episodes of that.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, brother. Good to see you.
I've never seen the Jungle Book, dude.
Well, then, surprise. And there's R. John's the Legend. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you.
Carlos, I love you, man, but you call yourself a Disney fan. You need to get on. You need to back that reputation up with some legitimate understanding and watching any of these movies.
Hey, save it for Disney fights. R. John's welcome in, brother. Good to see you. It's easy to see what Carlos has seen. Yeah. The Ten Commandments and
that's it, I think.
Some of Marvel.
And her, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So Mowgli falls in love with this girl who's singing this lovely song, and pretty much Bagheera and Baloo just let him go. They let him. Mowgli wants to go. He wants to. He's sort of had a change of heart. But it's so good to see him, Melissa.
It's this is my favorite part of the movie. I'm sorry, it just is. It's reality. You know, all guys are, when you're smitten with somebody, love at first sight, whatever you want to call it, ain't much gonna hold you back from pursuing. And I like this part. I think it's probably my favorite part of the movie, for sure. He's growing up. He's a man. He's a guy. She's pretty. She's kind of flirting with him. And it's like, if he has to choose, and he chose right, that's where he really needs to be. He needs to be with people. Hey, Will.
Hey, Will, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And then Baloo and Bagheera sing bare necessities off into the sunset, and that's it.
That's it. That's your film.
That's it.
Thank you, Melissa, for.
Thank you for those who are trying to deal with the what do you call them? Whatever you call the trolls. I don't call myself a Disney nerd. I call myself a Disney World freak. Big difference. I know a channel who calls themselves nerds and still don't know lots about Disney World. Yeah, it's true.
Let's not try to justify it, Carlos, and explain the difference between a Disney World nerd and a Disney World freak. What's the difference?
Hey, we're not getting into Disney fights. Stop it, the both of you. I love you.
An excuse for not being a true Disney fan. How's that?
Carlos and Walt, if we can't get along, then I'm going to have to leave the both of you.
Oh my god!
And I'll get my own place.
Okay.
But that's it. That ends
with him.
That ends the movie. Thank you very much, Douglas. Appreciate it. Thank you for mods who are on it. Thank you really for dealing with that. I can't really do it. I'm not that tech savvy. So for those mods who are getting rid of those codfishes, get rid of them. That'd be great. Thank you. They are codfish. And that's
codfish!
How many references to different movies have we made today? It's quite a lot.
I don't think anybody knows what that's even from.
Well, I know.
I know you know. It's your favorite.
Right. So, now we've ended the movie. This is where, oh my
Carl,
gosh, you two need to.
no,
get-
but no, it's not fair. To Carl, I'm on his side. Okay, that's fine. So he's saying, he's a Disney World freak when it comes to the parks, not necessarily the movies. Fair enough. That's fine. He explained it. Makes sense. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he's a Disney World freak, right? You're the movies. I'm the foodie.
Yeah.
There we go. Anyway, this is where you guys come into the equation. This is what you guys, this is your time now on Disney Movie Review. In the chat, we are going to ask you for your letter grade of the movie. What would you rate The Jungle Book from an A+ all the way down to an F? Now, not only tell us what grade you want, can you give us a reason why? Why would you give this movie a certain grade? So in the chat, please write down what you would give this grade and why. Now, both in the past, both Walt and I have given A+ on this on movies, and we've also given Fs. But let us know what you think. Put it in the chat, and we're going to read them after we go through our summary. Speaking of which, Courtney Rainwaters, welcome into the stream. Tinkerbell, anyone? Yes, Courtney was one of our special guests when we talked about the Tinkerbell movie.
Yeah.
So, in the chat, write down what you think of this movie, what letter grade, and why. While we're doing that, Walt, I'm going to come to you. What do you think of The Jungle Book? What's your letter grade? Favorite character, favorite scene?
Okay. First off, I will say there is very little references to the Jungle Book in the parks. A couple of meet and greets here and there. No real rides or anything like that. There's not a ton of representation in the parks. You never know, that might change with D23 and Animal Kingdom and the whole Dino Land. Maybe we get a Jungle Book area over there. We'll see. But not a ton. I wish there was a little bit more. As for the movie itself, the movie is kind of slow. I have to be honest with you. The story itself is meh. It's okay. Other than the songs, I'm not fully enamored with this film. My favorite scene is the last scene, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. I just like the scene with him meeting the girl, and it's just, it's very apropos. I like that scene. My favorite character in the film is probably going to be Baloo. I think everybody likes Baloo. But for me, I'm not a big fan of this film. If it's on, I probably won't sit down and watch it. And I probably won't seek it out. And I think Cherie Surfer Girl is correct. For me, I'm giving it a C. It's okay. It's a classic. It's got a lot of classic songs. But the actual story itself, and when we're not singing, is meh at best.
Interesting. Really interesting. Now, let me just go through the grades in the chat. Guys, please post your grades in the chat. Let us know why. What do you think of the movie? A+ down to an F. What do you want to give it? Walt gives it a C. And we'll just go through the chat and see what we get, and then I'll give you my review. Carlos, I don't know how much I can take this as credibility. He says, I know the song, so a C+.
You can't take it as credibility at all. He hasn't seen it.
See, this says I give it a B. It's the songs that keeps my interest. Other than that, I don't watch it often. Yeah, I get it. Sherry goes, yeah, it's mostly just Tailspin. Yeah, true. Alex says, think about the time this movie came out and how often they cycled movies. Yeah, true. Not as often as now. I grade a solid A because it gave me laughs and scares at a young age. Yeah, that's really fair. I like that review as well. Sherry gives it a C. Kay Outward gives it a B+. Love the music and the story with the tiger and the Black Panther. Has to be a favorite. Black Panther as in Bagheera, not Black Panther as in T'Challa. Surfer Girl, I wanted to do a C, but I like some of the songs a lot. And Melissa gives it a C+. For me, this movie is a classic. It's a film that goes down in Disney history. Does it deserve to have more in the parks? Maybe, possibly. But I think the film, I feel, is better because we have that representation in the parks. We've got the meet and greet with Baloo and King Louie. We also, briefly before the Rivers of Light show, we had the Jungle Book 2016 show, which actually was fantastic. I actually really, really enjoyed that. but then they got rid of that. But apart from that, that's pretty much it. I think the songs are incredible. Any song but written by Rich and Robert Sherman were fantastic. And I think those songs really boost this movie. Apart from that, I kind of agree. It's slow. It's going from point A to point B. There's a lot of filler. There's a lot of sort of not much characterizations within a lot of the characters. I don't know. It didn't really sit too well with me, but the songs really are one of the best sort of songs in Disney canon and Disney history. So I'm going to give this movie a C+. So we're kind of in agreement.
Yeah. Will Lovins gave a rating too.
Yep, Will Lovins said B, the music really the most memorable aspect of this movie. Every time I watch it, I am reminded of the more forgettable scenes. I always remember the songs and little else. Yeah, I think I'm in total agreement there. And Debbie Bernfeld also gives it a C+. It's an okay movie. The songs is worth watching, but the storyline could have been more interesting. Now, here's the thing, right, guys? I think people should go out and watch this because it is a Disney classic. Maybe it's a bit of an overrated Disney classic. I can think of other films around that time which I think are better. I think 101 Dalmatians is far better than The Jungle Book, and I don't think it's as represented as much as this film. But I think this is a solid film. It's okay. It's good. It's good enough. It's above average. That's what I would say. Let's see if I missed anything else. Oh, Candy Mom, thank you so much. The songs is the reason I like the Kite Show. Candy Mom, thank you so much for I haven't done this in a long time, Walt. Thank you for the 199 super chat. Thank you so much. I haven't done that in months. Thank you so much, Cynthia. That's really, really too generous of you. Thank you so much. Angel says I'll give it a B plus.
I think the thing for me is my sister would give it an A. It's just for me, what makes a movie fantastic is when you give me great music and then you give me a great story to go along with it. The Wizard of Oz, it's just the first one off the top of my head. What a great story that is, and then the music is just so iconic behind it. The music is the only thing that even makes it memorable. Nobody thinks about the actual story that we're talking about here. Everybody remembers the music. That's it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's cool. But the overall, I think this one is a little bit more pumped up than it used to be. I think part of it is the nostalgia factor that this is the last one that Walt worked on, or at least had his hands on. There's nothing wrong with loving this movie. If you love it, that's fine. That's great. There's plenty of things out there I love that people don't like at all. It's a matter of taste. But for me, it's not one. I agree with Melissa. I didn't connect with this movie. It just wasn't for me.
Al says, "Dan, please grade on a curve." Now, can you? Now, I don't know what this term means. Grade on a curve. Can you explain, Al, what grade on a curve?
Oh, that was nice. A curve means like if everybody failed, you would grade it on a curve to allow maybe for a few people to pass, I guess. I don't know. I think.
I don't know.
You get that?
A grade C, I guess. I don't know. But Al, thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker. Super sticker. Al, thank you. That's so kind and so generous. Thank you so much. That's really, really kind. So thank you so much. Really means a lot.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you both to Cynthia and to Al. That's very, very kind. But before we get into our pick, we've got to say one more thank you to today's sponsor. Cynthia, you've been waiting for this. Today's sponsor is sponsored by who, Walt?
It's Baloo's Boxer Briefs. Want a comfortable feel for those bare necessities? Then be sure to check out Baloo's Boxer Briefs. They come in all shapes and sizes, including Mowgli Medium, King Louie Large, just to name a few. Be sure to use the discount code PRICKLYPEAR to get 20% off your second pack of boxers. And you can order online today at www.mancupcreations.com or visit your local safari shop. Boxer Briefs from Baloo.
You can also find them at Al's Toy Barn, apparently.
Al's Toy Barn.
I don't know why you want to buy Baloo underwear from Al's Toy Barn.
Oh, why not? Hey, you got to cover up those bare necessities.
This is going very downhill very quickly. Anywho,
that's what friends are for. Go ahead. It's that time.
It is that time. Guys, we need a drum roll because we are now picking next week's movie. So obviously next week will be on Walt's channel. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. on Walt's channel. And
5 p.m.
5 p.m., 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Disney time, Disney World time. But we're now going to choose our next movie. I wonder what it is. Are we going to stick with animation?
I don't know. I think we're going something that's a lot. I think it's going to be no animation this time. No Pixar, no animation. It's going to be like a live action film.
Well, let's find out. This is like the scene from Toy Story. The claw.
Claw.
Right, drum roll in the chat. Next week's movie, 5 p.m. on Mouse Talks channel, is going to be...
This will be week 4 in a row, too. My goodness.
It will be week 4 in a row. Here we go.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
You know how you said you wanted to get out of the animated classics?
We're not getting out of there.
We're going even more classic.
Really? Sleeping Beauty, huh?
Not far. We've done Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, but we're not far off.
Snow White?
We've done Snow White.
Cinderella.
Cinderella. We are watching...
It's Cinderella. Wash the dishes. Make the bed. Shut up.
That sounds like a better version to me. We are watching Cinderella next week on Walt's channel. Guys, so go out this week between now and next Wednesday. Go watch the original 1930. No, 19.
No, it's 50s, I think.
1951. I'm gonna go 1951.
I don't remember. I'm looking it up now.
1951. I'm guessing 1951 is the date. Drum roll, please. What is the date of Cinderella?
Well, what the heck, man?
Well, you're taking too long.
I am taking too long. I'm trying. 1950. 5-0.
Oh, one off.
50.
We're going to watch the 1950 Cinderella. So go out this week, watch that version of the movie, and we're going to come back next week to watch that classic Cinderella.
We're
going to have something Carlos can be a guest on. Carlos, if you want to come on Cinderella.
You haven't seen anything.
Stop it. Melissa says, love Cinderella, my first favorite Disney animated movie.
Yeah.
Maybe special guest. Hooray, I love the mice. My favorite princess is Debbie Bernfeld. I grade it a D-. Ow, you can't grade it already.
You have to go watch it.
You got to go watch it, even if it's been a while.
Yay! So Carlos has seen Cinderella.
Has he seen it? Oh,
there is a God.
How is he Cinderella and not the Jungle Book?
I don't know.
We need to think of a new sponsor for next week as well.
Oh, I think
you got something.
I'm gonna work on it on my end. You work on it too. We could always have more than one if we come up with 2 good ones.
Let's not go down the underwear route again because pumpkin panties.
You don't get what you get. We don't get to pick our sponsors. Whoever calls us and says they want to be a sponsor, you leave it alone.
I don't know how well people would like pumpkin panties, but okay, we'll go.
That's fantastic.
I'm a fan of the live action too. The live action is so good. Maybe we'll brush on the live action. I saw it in the movies. It's actually good. Beetlejuice.
1950. You saw it, Al? You weren't even alive.
1950. Yeah, maybe
that's born in 1950. My father was born in 44. He was only 6.
Al goes. Please be brief on the underwear references.
Get it brief. That was good, Al. It took you a minute, didn't it, Dan? Brief.
No. Whatever. Anyway, apart from that, a couple of other things. Surprise, surprise. Guess what?
What?
I'm streaming on Saturday.
What?
I know. I'm going to be ranking every Walt Disney World attraction. Crazy. Crazy.
He might have guess.
I might have some special guests. I might get some people's input. I might need some experts to come and maybe help me. Unfortunately, none of the experts will show up, so I'm sure I'll have some other guests as well. There we go, Muppet Vision reference.
Yeah.
Oh, I so hope they never get rid of that show. But I'm going to be ranking every Walt Disney World attraction up to date live. Absolutely live. You're going to have your input. Probably not going to get everyone's input because everyone will have a different opinion. But please come by 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. 7 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock midnight here in the UK. Come check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. And it might be a long stream. It's going to be good fun. So come check it out. That will be on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, Disney Dan is streaming on a Saturday. Brain is going crazy. Are we back in 2018? Woohoo, I don't know. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Come check it out. And then obviously we'll be back next Wednesday on Walt's channel for the movie review of Cinderella. Before we get out of here, we've got a couple of things. Please do subscribe. Please hit the like button. Turn on that notification bell because I'm actually doing a little bit more nowadays compared to what I was doing. So come check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. We are very close to 2,230 subscribers, something like that. I don't even know. I don't even check subscriber count anymore. I haven't done for the last year.
Why are you bringing it up?
I don't know. I was like one away or something. I don't know. I probably lost now. But anyway, go check out Dean over the line, please. Dean is your go-to guy for your family friendly live streamers. Check him out. He's an amazing guy. He has got over, I don't know, he's your go-to. And then you got to check out my wonderful partner channels. This guy's my partner channel. This channel is my partner channel, The Incredible Mouse Talk. Thank you so much for being my amazing partner channel, as well as the incredible Rob, the Retro Fuzz, RobFuz. Thank you so much for being here and being my partner channel, Rob. I know he's ninja watching, so thank you so much, bud. Anyway, we are there. Walt, you've got a couple of busy park days coming up.
We do. We're at Universal on Saturday. Back at Magic Kingdom on Sunday. We have, of course, the first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party coming up on the 12th. We also have on the 15th, we're going to Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon. We'll be streaming that. So lots of fun, unique things coming up. I'm sure everybody will stream the Halloween party, but whatever. We'll be there too. We'll pick your poison on who you want to watch, but we'll all be there. It's going to be fun. And everybody, please subscribe to Dan. I know there's a lot of folks that are coming in for the first time over from me sharing it out. Dan's a great guy. He's a former cast member. Please be sure to subscribe to his channel. He's a ton of fun when he streams. He was always my inspiration as to why we streamed, and he's awesome. So thanks for having me, bud. These are great. I'm glad we're back to doing them a little bit more regular.
Now, this is before we leave. This is something that's just been brought up by Cynthia. Speedos?
Not now. Maybe about 10 years ago. Yep.
Not a Moonlight Magic.
No, not anymore. Those days are over.
Oh dear. We're still in the underwear territory conversations, aren't we today? Hal says, when you hit 5K, no, if I hit 5K, you and Walt need to do a Thelma and Louise on Tower of Terror. Hey, listen, Al, Walt and I have been on many rides together. It's been a while.
We're not going to do a Thelma and Louise because at the end of that movie, Thelma and Louise die. So, no.
But there may be a chance I can persuade him to go on Tower of Terror in December. I don't know. I have to buy him a very big hamburger or something. I don't know. You know what I love also about this show, Walt, is that more people are joining the crew.
I know.
So for the good of all Cree K,
Good of all.
Before we head out, there's a few other things. Carlos, do you have part tickets yet? No, I don't. But I will do. And Disney Dad just subscribed to the channel. But you mean?
No, Disney Dan just subscribed to the channel. I was just telling you he subscribed. Dan's a teacher, everybody.
You wouldn't think.
I'm just kidding.
And according to Carlos, I'm a Latin dancer teacher.
Oh, Latin dancer. Oh my God.
I'm not. I am not. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, guys. Guys, we had like nearly 25 people in the chat, which is a lot for me. So thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week. Actually, no, we will see you on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for my live ranking of the Disney attractions. Come join. And then obviously back on Walt's channel, 7 p.m. next week, Disney movie review. Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you, Walt, again, for the good of all crew.
Of all crew. Bye, everybody.
I need to go change my blue underwear now. Bye, everybody.
Dinner, breakfast, something. Bye.
Prickly Pears. Bye.